My name is Nemo. I'm the founder of Grabo. I started this company in 2011, and I'm the designer and engineer amongst a lot of very talented engineers that work in our company today. So my background is mechanical engineering. I studied engineering in Israel, in Technion, the Israeli Institute of Technology. I've been very interested in the field of power tools from the very beginning. I think that power tools are great products to be working on as an engineer because they're products that help other companies and other individuals to perform their job and to make their job easier and more efficient. So they're kind of products that enable others to do better at their job. They're also a very interesting engineering challenge because power tools, just as products from the engineering perspective, are very challenging and interesting to work on. They have to be extremely high quality. They have to go through all of the quality control processes that some of the other products out there don't really require, because usually power tools are used by professionals on the job and they're worked on a daily basis. So it's a really interesting engineering problem to create a product that does not break or breaks very rarely and is capable of withstanding very harsh conditions and daily use and abuse. So the idea for the Grabo was actually kind of interesting. It did not come from any known market need that we discovered early on. I would like to tell you that it was some sort of extensive market research or something along those lines, but it was some sort of an accident, I would say. I actually went on a rock climbing trip in Hong Kong a few years ago, and I'm not a very good rock climber. And I tried to climb those different routes, and while doing this during this trip, I started thinking, is there a way of creating suction or adherent or grab into a surface that is slightly porous and non-flat? And this became some sort of kind of an obsession for me. It became an interesting challenge, an engineering challenge, a scientific challenge, and I started working on possible solutions, not knowing at all that this is going to become a product that will be useful for people. After a few weeks of building prototypes and playing around and experimenting with different solutions, we found a very interesting technological solution that allows to build basically a product that can adhere to rough, non-flat and slightly porous surfaces. And this turned out to be very useful in several industries, such as landscaping and construction industry, board construction, drywall, gypsum boards, plywood, and so on. Working on the Grabo started as just a personal interest for me. It was an interesting engineering challenge and a scientific challenge. And after building a couple of prototypes, I started to experiment and to see if maybe there is a use for something like this in the industry. I built the prototypes. The first prototypes were made by 3D printing. My partner Oleg was very much involved in making this product into a more commercialized and kind of tough and well-designed product. We have a few very talented engineers that were involved in creating it, and we started to have some conversations with potential partners. And one of the industries that we found out about was the construction industry, mainly flooring and board construction. So we're talking about gypsum boards, drywall, wood construction by panels, and also flooring with tiles and different types of pavers. And when we showed the Grabo to some of the professionals in the industry, we found out that it's actually extremely useful for them. Having something that all of a sudden can actually adhere to surfaces and makes it much easier for them to lift and carry and place different materials, that was a shift that created a revolution in the industry and really made it much easier for those professionals and for those people who work with their hands and work in construction every day. It made it so much easier for them to just get their job done and do it effectively, and also more safely, protecting their backs, lifting in a more ergonomic and correct way, protecting their fingers from getting all kinds of injuries. It just became much easier to do with the Grabo, and this is something that we found out about after speaking with all of those professionals in the field that have been doing this for years. So I believe that working for Grabo is very interesting for my colleagues and for everybody involved in this company. We are an international company, which means that we have offices all over the world. We have offices currently in Las Vegas, here in the US. Our main office is in Hong Kong. We have factories that are wholly owned by us in Shenzhen, Huizhou, Dongguan, and a team that's spread all over the world from Israel, Australia, the US, and so on. We believe that having the best team is the most fundamental and important thing in creating a company that works well. It's all about the people. We're trying to create a culture that is a fun environment for people to work in, stimulating in terms of the challenges and the intellectual challenges that we're trying to overcome. So from the engineering perspective, we keep it interesting because we're innovators. We keep coming up with new products, and we put a very high emphasis on quality. We're almost obsessed with quality of products. We work on many different types of tools, and we keep coming up with new concepts. So unlike companies that have been around maybe for decades and are doing the same things over and over, a younger company like us, we work on new products all the time. New concepts, prototypes, we test them, we put them into different markets to try to see if we can solve interesting technological problems and interesting problems in general that exist in our markets. When we think of society, when we think of humans and what separates us from animals, one of the main things is actually tools. When you look back in history and you look through the record of human history, what separates us from other animals, what we leave behind, our legacy, is some of the early stone tools and some of the early things that humanoids and Homo sapiens built. And these are tools. This is something that makes us unique and different. Working on power tools is very satisfying because we know that the product that we make is not only a consumer product that somebody would buy and kind of use for a little while and throw away. These are tools that professionals use in order to build other things, in order to create, in order to make the world better. And power tools and tools in general are enablers. These are products that are used by professionals and makers to build the world, to build other things. So this is why I'm personally passionate about tools and power tools in particular. I think it's a very interesting engineering challenge for our developers, for our designers. It's a very interesting challenge to work on, and it's a very important type of product to be involved in. If you're looking for a young company, a dynamic company, where you can build your career and grow together with us, I personally believe that this is a wonderful opportunity for anybody who is passionate about what they do and likes to work on interesting challenges, likes to be a part of an international team, and to be a part of something that might be, an interesting revolution in the industries that we're involved in. Please stay tuned and check our website regularly for new positions, and we're always happy to have a chat. For more information, please visit our website www.grabo.com. Thank you for joining us, and keep up the good work.